also wanted to go over primary documents versus secondary documents for social studies. So oftentimes you'll see on the test a document, it might say a letter written from Martha, 1942, or a diary from a lady named Martha, written in 1942. Since that's from the exact time period, World War II, she lived in that time and she wrote about that time period, that's a primary source document. However, oftentimes what you'll find online, they're going to be secondary source documents. So it could be a textbook, that's a secondary source because it's written by somebody like you or like me that don't live in that past time period. So if I wrote a book or an article or even made a documentary about World War II, that's a secondary source document, not primary source. So I want us to get used to differentiating between the two. So again, that letter I mentioned, that's primary source, definitely. The documentary, we know that some of the footage will be primary source because those were taken during the war, but we know the overall documentary, that's a secondary source. I don't know if you ever have questions about that, but it's often important to be able to distinguish the two. Also to know that one, right, it's from a person or a group, right, or a newspaper publisher, whoever from that time period, and their language, right, what they talk about, their feelings, those would be very different than someone like myself, again, who's very far removed. So again, it's really, really great that we can look at those and be able to tell which. And it makes our story, right, our studies more powerful when we use primary source documents. So I'll be, again, interweaving those into our lessons. So that way we get to hear from real people who lived it instead of hearing about it second and third hand. If you have any questions though, or you're wondering again still about the primary versus secondary sources, please let me know. And I look forward to having our Zoom meeting tomorrow. At the same time though, 4:30. Thank you.